So Zoro is jumping on the heads of the giant pirate crew, who is also Dami reversing at this point, and he winds up doing a secret technique, which I always thought was funny because it's like, it's not really a secret anymore, but he winds up seemingly one-shotting the entire crew here. Like, that's what it looks like. He just does one move and he takes all of them out. And this is pretty crazy because it's like the entire giant pirate crew, or at least it looks like it, and they're all Dami reversing, which has been clearly established to give you like a buff. And I'm all for it. I like to see Zoro becoming more powerful because he needs to be, especially since the rest of the crew, aside from like Sanji and kind of Jinbei, are essentially useless at this point in the story. And also, we are going to be in the final war of the series in like a couple years. So Zoro really needs to graduate past the Yonko commander level and get straight up to that Yonko level, which he'll be at soon. Because, you know, after this point, there's only really going to be Yonko level opponents for him. I guess aside from the Holy Knights. After making quick work of them, he comes across Dory and Bragi, and he's like about to attack them, but he like doesn't. And it seems like he comes between them, but I guess he doesn't, because the whole thing was about him avoiding getting in between the Damiverse giants, because if you get in between them, then you yourself will get Damiverse, or at least in theory. But it looks like he's between them, but I guess he's not. I guess he's just floating above them or something. It's just hard to make out from this perspective, but I don't think Oda would just contradict himself immediately with this sequence. And then he like does nothing. I guess he like pulls back or something. It's really hard to make out, but he's doing this at the same time that Dory and Brogni are about to attack him, and he like gets out of the way or something, and then they attack each other and like cut through each other too. And this like freaks everybody out, but it's like, I think they're gonna be okay because they're Dami reversing, so I'm pretty sure they get regeneration, or at least some form of regeneration, because I mean the Holy Knights get it, and I'm pretty sure Rox had regeneration when he was Dami reversing. And also, like, when Imu like performed the Dami reversi on Dory or Bragi, I forget which one, but she like shot their hand off or something, and then like it came back. Although like it wasn't fully healed, it still like came back to some degree. So either way, I think they're gonna be fine. And also, of course, this is like a callback to them feuding on Little Garden. So then we come to the other big story of this chapter, and it's Brooke encountering Imu / Gunko. Brooke was able to scurry away from him being stuck with the Straw Hat, and it's finally revealed here like who Gunko is, because we saw that before Imu like took over Gunko, she was starting to recognize who Brooke was, and like her memories were returning to her, and like her true personality was taking over. And that was when it was revealed that like, oh, Gunko is just being mind controlled by Imu. And we saw in the brief flashback that like Brooke was there when she was like a kid or something, and I say there meaning whatever kingdom that she comes from, which I guess is tied to the world government or the Celestial Dragons in some way. But Brooke said that he was like the leader of a battle convoy in a certain kingdom back in the day, so that's like where this place was. And Gunko, whose name is Shuri, we're finding out in this chapter, was the princess of that kingdom. But first, guys, let's talk about PolyBuzz AI. PolyBuzz is a free, private, and unrestricted AI character chat app with over 20 million characters. You can also create your own AI characters. You can dive into immersive role play and explore endless possibilities. I mean, other than that, you could just like chat with nearly any character you want. Like I was able to chat with Angry Nami.
Don't talk to me right now. You let yourself get captured by the enemy and we had to save your butt. From now on, you're getting no more loving affection from me.
But I have Advanced Conqueror's Hockey.
Oh, so you have hockey. That doesn't excuse your reckless behavior.
But hockey transcends all.
Oh, not common sense it doesn't.
Also, you can create your own character. You can make an OC, of course, but I decided to make Rox because why not? Rox is the GOAT. So guys, check the link in the description and make sure you use my code ZONE26. Thanks, guys. It also turns out that she like killed her father, who Brooke says he owes everything to, and Brooke like hates her because of this. This is like a big twist. We didn't know this. We just thought they were going to be friendly or whatever, or it seems like Gunko, or should I say Shuri, is friendly with Brooke, but not the other way around, or at least they were friendly at one point until she killed her father. But we can assume that she didn't like, you know, willingly kill her father. I'm assuming Imu took her over and then forced her to kill her father, because probably has something to do with the Celestial Dragons, him not wanting to bend the knee to Imu, him not wanting to kiss the ring or whatever, or something, you know, probably along those lines. And Brooke, you know, he wouldn't know that because I'm sure he didn't see like Imu take over Gunko. He probably just saw her kill her father. And this was like over 50 years ago because he says that Shuri would be like 80 years old at this point. And obviously she's not. She still looks pretty young. And I'm sure it has something to do with Imu's contract with her because Imu can make the Gorosei stay young, although not really with the Holy Knights. So it really remains to be seen like what specific contract Gunko / Shuri has. And it still remains to be seen why Imu even chose her. I mean, I guess there has to be some kind of significance to her because she is right now technically a part of the Man-Mayer family, which are celestial dragons. But if she's coming from a kingdom outside of Marijois, then I guess she wasn't always a celestial dragon. I don't really know. I mean, we don't really know much yet. We're just finding out all this stuff in this chapter. Maybe Imu just has something for blue-haired girls, but Brooke, like, talking to Shuri / Gunko here causes her to, like, have a breakthrough for a second, and her memories come back again. Like, she actively is able to fight off Imu's control, which is pretty crazy. And in this brief moment, she's able to, like, unwrap Brooke from the arrows that are wrapped around him, along with the straw hats, too. So they're finally free, although they're still not really doing much in this chapter. Although Sanji does show up afterward, although we don't really see him, he kind of just appears off panel for some reason. But now that he's here, he's going to notice that Robin is still bound up by Summer's vines. So I'm assuming that he's going to go fight Summers to help, you know, release Robin from those. Because also he's like the third strongest villain here. And Sanji's like the third strongest good guy here. So, you know, it makes sense. But Shuri is like telling Brooke like, hey, run, you got to get out of here. Brooke's like, you know, why are you telling me to run? Who are you? Because I guess he's still not fully convinced that it is Shuri. But I mean, I'm assuming it is. Then Imu takes control over her again and attacks Brooke. And Brooke, like, blocks Imu's attack. This is crazy. Imu is the final villain of this series. By far the strongest character we have ever seen. Like, their powers don't even make sense. That's how powerful they are. And Brooke, who is fodder to any Yonko commander, is earnestly blocking the attack of Imu, the final villain of this series. I don't know if this is power creep or emotion creep or I don't know. This is just really funny and interesting because on paper, there's no way Brooke should be able to do this, but I guess he needs to do it in this instance to stand his ground, to stand on business because he's so angry at what Shuri's doing. But it is also possible that Imu is getting debuffed while they're inside of Gunko. But even then, Gunko's still pretty powerful in her own right. I mean, she's definitely Yonko commander level minimum, which Brooke definitely is not. So I don't know what to make of this. Maybe we're gonna come back to this and it really like wrecks Brooke, but I'm pretty sure that's where this sequence ends, with Brooke just standing on business against Imu, which is crazy. This is seemingly one of the best feats in the series. Then we come to the ending sequence here where Summers is like talking crap to the kids as he's leading them to the ship to take them to Marijois. And then we see like the Nika sleep tid fighting against Kyriden's crew here, who's the crew that's on their way to go save the kids. And this Nika is being referred to as like the god of destruction. This is like the variant of Nika that Elbaf is more familiar with, or at least what Nika is associated with there, because I guess he's still the sun god to them, but also instead of being like the liberator, like the one that Luffy is, this one is like the god of destruction, which I don't know, goes more into like Void Century lore or even pre-Void Century lore. But this is why he's like a nightmare manifested from their dreams from Killingham's fruit. And Gerd Goldberg and Road do like a triple Hakoku sovereignty to him, or the Gokoku sovereignty, and they like blow a hole through him. I guess this is supposed to mean something other than just giving them their 15 minutes, but the Nika winds up falling on the ship and destroying it, which is like screwing Summers over in a really funny way and saving the kids inadvertently. And like I've also said before, this is Nika. Even though it is like evil nightmare monster Nika, Nika is like Jesus in this story, so he has to be benevolent in some way or another. And, you know, by accidentally destroying this ship and saving the kids inadvertently, that's accomplishing that. But that's where the chapter ends, with Summers getting screwed. Like I said, he's probably going to wind up fighting Sanji. I really would like to see what's going on with this Brooke, Imu, Gunko stuff, because wow, that was pretty wild. Let me know what you thought about this chapter in the comments, guys. If you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.